Part 4, the LCS's intent with psychedelics. All that said, these substances didn't just randomly appear on Earth for kicks and giggles. They serve a much grander evolutionary function. Campbell posits that plant medicines were deliberately created and scattered across the Earth as tools for humans to fight entropy and shatter our delusional, fragmented perception of reality. Mathematical discoveries, architectural genius, paradigm shifting inventions, scientific breakthroughs, artistic masterpieces, philosophical insights, medical advances, and numerous other major leaps that advance civilization oftentimes, not every time, but oftentimes required the consciousness expansion that only these natural tools could provide. They all have this unmistakable signature of expanded consciousness behind them. Terrence McKenna, ethnobotanist, philosopher, and psychedelic advocate, took this further with his stoned ape theory. He proposed that psilocybin mushrooms were the missing link that helped evolve our primate ancestors into self-aware, language-using humans. Carey Mullis credited LSD for his Nobel Prize-winning PCR technique, which allows scientists to rapidly make millions of copies of DNA, revolutionizing molecular biology. Francis Crick was reportedly on acid when he discovered DNA's double helix structure. The Beatles' psychedelic period produced their most innovative music, which reshaped pop culture. Steve Jobs called his LSD experiences one of the 2 or 3 most important things in his life, leading to Apple's revolutionary designs. Ancient Greek mathematicians at Ulysses were believed to have consumed ergo-laced kykeon before receiving geometric insights that became the foundation of Western mathematics. Graham Hancock, author, archaeologist, and psychonaut, explores this in his book Supernatural, the transformative role of plant medicines, particularly ayahuasca, in shaping human consciousness, creativity, and ancient civilizations. Drawing on dozens of personal ayahuasca journeys, he links the geometric patterns and visionary beings found in ancient cultures in South Asia or South Africa and European cave art to the imagery experienced during ceremonies, suggesting that ancient artists preserved spiritual encounters from altered states of consciousness. Hancock also observed shamans using ayahuasca to access spirit worlds and communicate with what he calls ancient teachers of mankind, with visions often mirroring hybrid beings depicted in art, highlighting the foundational role of these experiences in early religion and human creativity. I believe that the role of psychedelics in human evolution has been massively underestimated by mainstream science, he said. And I think we're going to find that these substances were central to the evolution of human consciousness itself. The pattern is undeniable when one stops pretending these connections don't exist. Ever wonder why shrooms do that to the mind? Like, really think about it. Why the hell does that even happen? Why do our minds even react that way when we smoke or consume certain things? McKenna had this wild insight that these substances are actually alien intelligence communicating through chemistry, using our neural hardware as receivers. But Campbell's theory goes deeper, explaining that these molecules in our brains and in these substances are not just randomly evolved things that can scramble our brains, but that they're very intentional LCS creations that unlock perceptual capabilities dormant inside of us to allow us to take shortcuts to seeing the bigger picture and purpose here. Essentially, the LCS purposely created them to help us remember what we really are. The fact that they dissolve the ego, reveal interconnectedness, and often produce mystical experiences that feel more real than real suggests they're operating as consciousness reset buttons, temporarily overriding the amnesia program that keeps us trapped in limited identity. Think about it. We can't be given the answer key to life because that would obliterate the purpose of existence, the big challenge with the veil of ignorance, and forgetting our divinity as its masterpiece. The puzzle must remain challenging. Without it, there's no true transformation, no meaningful tests, only spiritual handouts that fail to advance the soul's urgent drive for evolution, especially through incarnating here, where the stakes and sense of reality are among the highest in all of the LCS. In school, if the teacher gives you the answers to the test, you don't learn anything. You don't evolve educationally, Campbell said. It's the same with the LCS and our souls. The mystery is what challenges us, forces growth, and ensures that we finally arrive at understanding. It is earned, not handed to us. If the divine consciousness just revealed everything at once, evolution would screech to a halt. But it also rejected creating a system so harsh and impossible that beings could never evolve. It's kind of the perfect kind of hard. Feel how exquisitely tuned this difficulty becomes? See the masterful calibration here? If you were programming a survival horror game where conquering your deepest phobias was the escape route, wouldn't you also plant these courage amplifying items in every haunted location, making fearlessness attainable, but demanding players enter the very places that terrify them most? Is it starting to make a little more sense now? God is experiencing itself through us while we remain clueless about our divine nature, needing to needing to learn to choose love over fear through these brutal life lessons. The hardest test in the universe, as you will see later. These natural teachers were strategically placed to nudge our evolution forward. No matter if we were Mayans calculating astronomical cycles, Renaissance artists unlocking perspective, Silicon Valley pioneers coding the digital revolution, or quantum physicists unraveling reality's deepest layers. Without the help of mind manifesting substances, there would be less probability of growth for civilization and more entropy within the LCS. In just about every civilization ever, no matter the geographic area, there has been a psychoactive substance to help them along. Celtic druids use fly agaric mushrooms. African weedy practitioners consume iboga root. Middle Eastern mystics worked with Syrian rue, and Aboriginal Australians utilize pituri and various acacia species, and on and on and on and on. Life is just like Super Mario Brothers on hard mode, complete with mushroom and flower power-ups strategically placed throughout the game world to help us along. And just like Mario, it's not about avoiding every obstacle, but about mastering the jumps, collecting the boosts, and keeping your eye on the final flag.